Story of Happiness by Charles Simic. Happiness, unknown woman, there's a childhood picture of the two of us. Your hands are covering my eyes, all but your arms are cut off. I always hoped you'll return. I'll be doing nothing in particular, barely keeping an eye on the person in front of me at the checkout counter, when that delicious blindness will again sweep me off my feet. It's a baffle, I said only yesterday. Then I raised my beer glass and invited everyone present to drink to my future happiness, when the bartender asked me to please stop making a disturbance. My happiness is busy making others happy, I continued under my breath. It will come to me yet. I'll be tinkling the little iron bell on a desk of an antique store. I'll be on a motorcycle flying at dusk over the Nevada desert when... The author of this poem, Charles Simic, was from Yugoslavia, which is now Serbia, and he was influenced in his style of writing through the fact that many European nations were trying to control Yugoslavia. It became Serbia after World War I, and it was a result of splitting up territories between different European countries. So he actually has a lot of angst and resentment towards the government of Europe and towards the government of America. He believes that happiness was not always present, as he says in his poem, but he has high hopes that it will return to him again. He experienced a lot of unhappiness, I would assume, as growing up through Yugoslavia being under constant pressure from Russia and other European nations dominating it and changing its government, and communism all affected him and how his family grew up. Story of Happiness. He personifies happiness as an unknown woman that he has a childhood picture with, and she's covering his eyes, and when she does that, it represents how he first felt happiness in his boyhood, but in the innocence of childhood, kind of playing on the fact that ignorance is bliss. He was innocent in his childhood, and that's when he first felt happiness. Perhaps he was innocent to and ignorant of the current political situation in his country at a younger age. He then continues through the poem to hope for the day happiness will return to him, and he says he'll be doing nothing in particular, maybe at the checkout counter of a grocery store or in an antique shop or on a motorcycle ride in Nevada, but he won't be doing anything in particular yet. It will overcome him. And he's saying that it acts randomly because he's trying to say that you can't force yourself to be happy. Happiness to me would have to be just anything that made me laugh or smile, or giving something to other people makes me happy. I like when other people are happy because I guess it could be considered like an infectious emotion, just like laughter catches on after a while. But I agree with the message of Charles Simic's poem that you can't force yourself to be happy, and that it will occur at a random moment, an unexpected moment, because you can't force it. It has to come naturally. And if you try too hard to be happy, you know that you really aren't, and you can probably only enjoy yourself and only find happiness when you're not looking for it, when you're not preoccupied with finding it because you're worried about not having it, which is just making you worried. But it definitely comes unexpectedly. It comes and goes. Like Simic is saying, that he's waiting for the day it will arrive again. I agree that it comes and goes, and it's not always there, but it should be appreciated when it is. the message of the poem in the beginning, he starts out with happiness as a little girl covering his eyes in a picture, which is trying to say how he was perhaps ignorant when he was a child. He was unaware of the things around him. His eyes were closed, and he was happy in that innocence. And I think that every child is happy in their innocence, and that is a key factor of being happy, maybe being ignorant to what is going on in the rest of the world, but you can still feel happy knowing everything that you know and going through everything you've gone through. It's still possible to be happy even without innocence. And I think that he states the truth that happiness can't be forced, so we have to enjoy it while we have it. The Story of Happiness by Charles Simic. Happiness, unknown woman. There's a childhood picture of the two of us. Your hands are covering my eyes. All but your arms are cut off. I always hoped you'll return. I'll be doing nothing in particular, barely keeping an eye on the person ahead of me at the checkout counter, when that delicious blindness will again sweep me off my feet. It's a baffle, I said only yesterday. Then I raised my beer glass and invited everyone present to drink to my future happiness, when the bartender asked me to please stop making a disturbance. My happiness is busy making others happy, I continued under my breath. It will come to me yet. I'll be tinkling the little iron bell on a desk of an antique store. I'll be on a motorcycle flying at dusk over the Nevada desert when